I object to the sound of the underground.
I object to the sound of my writing. I object to the sound of the weather. I object to the sound of whatever. Let's see if I could thought I wasn't that clever. And in South Harrow, one of my friends' name was Trevor. Look at that, you see that? John Dryden. Johnny. Can you see that? Don't think you can, amigos. John Dryden. Oxford authors. The Oxford authors. I was going to turn this into a musical, and I'm about to do it now. The true end of satire is the amendment of vices by correction, and he who writes honestly is no more an enemy to the offender than the physician to the patient. When he prescribes harsh remedies to an inveterate disease. For those are only in order to prevent the surgeon's work. To conclude all, if the body politic have any analogy to the natural, in my weak judgment, an act of oblivion were as necessary in a hot, distempered state as an opiate would be in a raging fever. Interesting that. A poem. Absalom and Achitophel. Absalom and Achitophel. And we've got some Latin. Si propius stes te capiet magis. If you stand nearer, it will attract you more. In pious times their prescript did begin, before polygamy was made a sin. When man on many multiplied his kind, ere one to one was cursedly confined. When nature prompted and no law denied, promiscuous use of concubine and bride. Then Israel's monarch after heaven's own heart, his vigorous warmth did variously impart to wives and slaves, and wide as his command, scattered his maker's image through the land. Mickle of royal blood the crown did wear, a soil ungrateful to the tiller's care. Not so the rest, for several mothers bore to godlike David several sons before. But since like slaves his bed they did ascend, no true succession could their seed attend. Of all of this numerous progeny was none so beautiful, so brave as Absalom. Whether inspired by some diviner lust, his father got him with a greater gust before the earth crust did decide to bust, and a volcano blow, and ash come down like snow. Or that his conscious destiny made way by manly beauty to imperial sway. Early in foreign fields he won blasted renown, when kings and states allied to Stephen's crown. That's Joseph's gown. And I'm drinking Red Strap. Now how's that sound? Oh, better out than in.
1,000 years after the Great Pyramid, but just a few decades before the Pharaohs the kings. The dynasty which built this pyramid was honoring an ancient and sacred tradition. The pharaohs of the next dynasty, the 18th, would have seen this structure standing complete, yet they turned their backs on that tradition.
We know for sure that no tomb in the way of the kings ever had a pyramid. Pyramids simply ran out of use.
The question of why this happened has long been debated by Egyptologists. But for Dr. Zahi Hawass, the answer lies at the bottom of this, the deepest and he believes the oldest tomb in the valley. Again, Howard Carter was the first person in the modern era to enter the tomb. It was in 1902, 20 years before he happened on the burial of King Tut.
King Tut. Oh, he's looking for Egyptians.
Blocked by rubble.
Here I am.
Then changed his designs because the all-important burial
Underground cities.
just within the solid line.
You might have to build cities like these
The shaft is one feature that appears
in case Yellowstone volcano explodes.
Generations of workers.
Yeah, you'll have to suck air in from above.
Kent Weeks, who has made a 3D model of
Undercity.
Bath, believes there's a
Undercity?
reason why
Underground
changes
cities.
occur again and again.
Yeah, maybe this is the only way certain people will survive.
Accidental.